Hey everyone, welcome to your weekly reading. I'd like to share my appreciation to everyone for supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. And now let's find out what Spirit has in store for you this week. Hello Gemini and welcome. And let's get started with the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Seven of Swords, and the King of Swords. So a lot of challenge right off the bat there, Gemini. And I like you have the two nines together there. And so, wow. Let's see what else Spirit has to say to you. The Four of Pentacles, so some money in there finally. More challenge, the Page of Swords. You have the Ten of Wands. Oh, and the Four of Wands. So you have some good balance here. Not completely, but I like when I see the challenge and the action there together, the swords and the wands, and then a little bit of money there. So I don't see any emotion for you, so to speak, here, Gemini, but we do, the Four of Wands does talk about and does work with romance or marriage, because it's talking about harmony and stability. So that's what you're ending with here, Gemini. So looking like if you have any romantic things on the way, or anything coming to you, it's going to be toward the end of your week. It's going to be something that builds up to it. That Four of Wands is saying that you are going to have that opportunity to have that sense of all is well in the romantic realm, something along the lines of even as big as marriage. So if you're thinking about something like that, Gemini, saying that, you know, you'll probably build up to it, but it's certainly a possibility. So let's go ahead with the rest of your wands then. And since you started with the Nine of Wands, you started with a wand, that is just saying that your plans are on the verge of realization. So again, that's starting, and the Four of Wands ending. Sounds like you might be making some big decisions romantically. So oddly enough, not a cup in your reading, but the first wands and the last wands, the first card and the last card of your reading, are definitely speaking to each other about an emotional situation, something that could be very big. And like that four is also talking about teamwork, something that adds harmony and stability to your life. So your action is definitely speaking to a romantic connection, something or someone who wants to work together toward a common goal with you. Now, your last action card, your Ten of Wands. Your Ten of Wands is talking about knowing how to balance work life and emotional life. So with that being in there, it's kind of interesting. So because you're saying, all the wands are saying an emotional connection, something that's going to happen emotionally, but then you have this card saying that you've got to watch out for that workaholic nature, something that could actually deter from a good relationship. Plenty of good relationships have been ruined by people not knowing how to separate work from home, not knowing when that OT is just not worth another night where someone sits home waiting for you to join them at dinner, or you miss, just even family life, missing another recital or missing another baseball game or a swim meet because you are working. Don't do that. Right now, your action cards are talking about emotion and talking about partnership and romance and love. So be aware of your work versus home life versus social life. Separate work and know when it's time not to work. Just basically, the way that your wands are reading, don't overwork yourself. Don't put more value on material gain and financial gain and your job. Jobs do come and go, but usually your family or someone who you love, that's what you want to stick around. And we change jobs all the time. So not saying that your job isn't important, but it should not be more important to you than those you love. That's a pretty simple statement, pretty easy to understand. So remember that. Don't take your family and your loved ones for granted. But let's go ahead and look at your pentacles, since that 10 of Wands reared its head. The 4 of Pentacles is referring to protecting your resources and feeling like you're on the right track. So it would ask you to be a little bit more reserved financially and socially. So that's kind of saying maybe it's a week where you need to spend more time at home. It could also say that maybe you need to work more because finances could be a little iffy. But we know that 10 of Wands is saying watch that. Watch out for that. And if you're supposed to be more reserved financially and socially, well, that means more time at home. I mean, to me, it's saying spend more time at home, spend more time with those you love. And that will help keep that balance between work and family and friends and your personal life, and will also help you with that little bit of, okay, well, there's something going on here. Protect your resources. You need to have a firm foundation for your economic stability. So staying at home, being less social, being more frugal, good time to do that, Gemini. So let's look at your challenge, because this was literally a challenge heavy reading, but yet I was drawn to those action cards. So with your 9 of Swords, again, that's a card that can cause a lot of anxiety. So you have to make sure that you're, again, with this balance and knowing that your finances could be an issue, that you need to be a little bit more reserved in all the money arenas, and knowing that you could easily get into that, oh, I need to work mode because of that. That 9 of Swords could be talking about that as well, saying that you will be causing yourself undue stress, undue anxiety, the nightmares, that battle, that psychological battle within yourself about what do I do about this? Well, the cards are telling you, pay attention to your family. Work, do your job, be diligent with that, but don't let it take over. Don't forget what is truly important in life. Money is very important, we know that, but your family is very important as well. Then we have the 7 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords is talking about some strategy, being able to really fine-tune and stay on point with something. So again, it's saying that you need to keep your focus on what is important to you, and in this case, family and loved ones. That's what you're supposed to be concentrating on this week, Gemini. Your King of Swords, he's talking about being able to understand or master something that would normally be very complex for you, something that you don't have any idea how to address. But this week, the King of Swords is saying, I'm going to help you with that. You are going to be able to get a grip on something that has been very trying for you, something you just can't get or understand. It's going to be becoming clearer for you and easier for you to understand. So all of those things are working together for you. And then last but not least, we have your Page of Swords. With the Page of Swords, we're talking about diplomacy and being willing to maybe even apprentice or do something firsthand so that you get a better grip on it. So maybe even putting yourself into this loved one or the family member's shoes, seeing, and that will help you see where you need to be for them, what you need to be for them. So that challenge card is not so much a challenge this week. It's telling you to be open to someone else's situation. What makes them make these decisions, and how can you become closer to them? That is what I'm seeing for you this week, Gemini. Thank you for joining me, and I invite you to tune in for my Weekend Energy show, which airs this Thursday. And as always, essentially, we all have a divine purpose. Embrace the universe and live your dream. Until next week, here's wishing you health, prosperity, and positive relationships. Farewell to you.